Welcome to the ECAC Overwatch 2 stream. I'm your caster Inferno, joined by my fellow caster Althea and our observer Beldia. How are you doing tonight, Althea?
I'm great. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm happy to be back on Lijiang Tower yet again.
Yeah, fifth week in a row here. Pretty strong map, definitely. Today,
Gotta
looking at
love
the
it.
teams, we have CSI, College of Staten Island, out of Staten Island, New York. They're on a current record of 3-1, and they're facing off against Kean University out of Union, New Jersey. They're on a record of 0-4, so they're looking for their first win here this season.
Yeah, that first win, always very nice to get on the leaderboard.
Yeah, one
Gonna
thing I
see
want
what the comps are looking like.
to, yeah, we're gonna see the Orisa pick with the switches from Chongyun here.
We might
I'm
see
hoping to
just a
see,
teleport out of spawn.
yeah, likely. I'm hoping to see maybe
Oh,
some environmentals. Early pause though, maybe a
that would be
technical issue.
nice.
Maybe a crash on launch from Ozu.
Possibly. We have on Keen B Comics on the Tracer and Beans on the Ilari. I wonder if those picks are going to stay the same. I would like to see that.
Yeah, it looks like we
And the pause is back in.
17 seconds in with a technical difficulty. Not a great start, but hopefully the game will go
You
well.
should smooth it out. Yep, yep.
Yeah, looking at these teams beforehand too was definitely fun. I'd like to mention that these teams were both very enthusiastic in chat, so we got a great game together from both.
Yeah,
these
great
teams.
banter.
Excited to see it.
Everyone was very friendly. Gonna be looking to fight now with Keen getting closer to that point with CSI and Cammy on the Orisa now taking hold of the point. Gonna be looking, the Comics finding the first pick onto the Pharah of CSI. Cammy follows up with another pick onto Oz and Roslito onto Keen. CSI now on the point, making a claim and gonna be picking down the first percentage.
Yeah, that's going to be a pretty quick take from CSI here. We're going to see the couple swaps already from Kean, though, trying to match CSI's energy with the Orisa swap and everything. The still going to look in favor, though, of CSI because of that Pharah pick. Really, the only hit scan they have is the Sojourn Charge as well as the Juno, so with the environmental advantage, it's going to be interesting what the Pharah's going to be able to do uncontested.
And we saw the Pharah fall early to the Tracer last fight. Gonna see Roslito find the first pick, or Cammy find the first pick onto Roslito, and Phobic following up with a second pick onto the Comics and Boot, which is just gonna give CSI more percentage.
We're gonna see Kean back pushed into their spawn here. We got some great picks from Phobic at the start. The McCree's gonna be really good against this. Cassidy is gonna be really good against that Tracer with the back grenade, being able to just
the hinder grenade, yeah.
Yeah, the hinder being able
Love
to just
that
stop
one.
all that movement. Gonna be crucial for that Tracer.
And I have some ults now for CSI. Parasurge coming down early, pushing Keen back. Gonna save some of those other ults as the kills now fall through from CSI. With possibly a stagger pick coming from, not really too much stagger, but CSI team killing.
Yeah, you see
And
Ozu
now-
get Chongyun at the end there. I think that was on accident shooting at Cammy, but that was pretty good. Pretty expected there. That's the third fight in. CSI is going to have that ult advantage. They're going to be able to use the Orbital Ray with the Orisa ult and just win that.
Now, Phobic using the Deadeye, not finding anyone right away, but Roslito falling a little too early onto point with 99% in overtime now. CSI just looking to defend with the rest of their ult, and looks like it will be CSI's first point.
Yeah, very good from CSI. They held that really well. I'd definitely say somebody that really pulled their weight was Phobic. They did their job in just shooting down, getting the picks they needed, but we see Kean making a couple last-minute swaps, which is just not what you want there, because I mean, you're going into the fourth fight, it's gonna be going into overtime, and you're not switching like that, you're not gonna get your ults off, and you're just gonna be at the disadvantage. But I do want to say I do like that the Echo swap, as well as the Echo swap into the Pharaoh was good. So good counter there. We're gonna see a May
here.
Yeah, Phobic going
Ooh,
to the
May
Ash.
from Comics.
Couple swaps
And the
here.
Ash, yeah.
As well
Stick
as
with
a
Orisa mirror match.
Yeah, I like to see that.
With that teleporter from CSI, getting them a little bit closer to the point. Able to maybe take the fight a little bit further up into Kean's backline. Now pushing up a bit. Gonna be looking for that early damage, any picks that could come through. While Beans, we see keeping up as much as can everyone on Kean, with the tanks finding 2 picks onto each other's DPS, and CSI is now about to cap the point. No contest from Kean. CSI starts building percentage again. Gonna be falling low though, as Oz finds Ripser, the Comics, and Oz clean up a lot of the team, and Kean now stakes her claim on the point.
Yeah, Ozu is doing a really good job here of putting pressure on the backline and those supports, disconnecting the healing from the tank and giving them the advantage and the picks to win that fight. So, unsurprising to see them come back like that. And Echo's gonna have a really good hold here in these close rooms, being able to just spam those sticky bombs. But we're gonna see a good flank from CSI's DPS here, being able to push Kean back.
With the ult coming down from Cammy, finding an early pick onto Comic. Bioactive finding 2 more on Kean as CSI pushes them back yet again. With Roslito finding the push off the map onto Cammy. And unfortunately, it's not enough to keep them down. CSI starts pushing back up.
Yeah, you saw Kean at a decent position, but CSI was able to just wrap around with their DPS and then push up with the Juno ring, as well as the Orisa ult to just get the early pick, and they just won the fight from there. I see 5 ults here from Kean though. I'm hoping to see something good from them.
Now gonna be on the point. Both. Oh, we don't. Couple ults going down now from both teams, as Kean and CSI are now fighting on the point, as a couple picks come through and a shield dash off the map from Rip SR, and Kean now takes the point back.
Yeah, very back and forth here. A lot of ults down that fight, but we're going to see 2 supports and 2 DPS from both of them on this side, but I'm more in favor of the Blizzard than I am the Tara ult here. And it looks like an early pick too from Ozu.
Great pick from Oz onto that Pharah. As now Kean can push even further back into CSI's spawn. The point is now ticking ever closer to that 99. Couple ults now from CSI. Just can't get up to use them just yet. Now gonna push in. Gonna see the Blizzard from the Comics and the Terra Surge from Cammy. Phobic finds 1 kill on the Beans. Cammy finds another on the Comic. Now gonna be pushing on the point contested. Roslito finds Cammy in the back line. The point has 1 CSI on it. Gonna be taking it. Kean stopped at 92%.
They're just going to have to back off without their tank up. They're not going to have much to hold it. It was very back and forth in that fight, but was able to get Kean to take it. But we're going to have to see CSI try and contest it. I don't think they make it. They do barely.
A couple ults from Kean, trying to hold this point. The orbital ray from both teams comes out. CSI is a little later, giving them a little bit more of a boost. The Kitsune rush from Boop, and Kean comes down to keep a couple alive, but unfortunately Bioactive and Cammy find just the right picks at the right time to push CSI back onto the point.
Yeah, that's going to be back in favor of CSI. I believe Ozu was down pretty early in that fight, which left Kean at a disadvantage, and they committed two supports as well as their tank ults. Very, very big commitment to lose that. So looking in favor of CSI here with the point, they're going to have the Orisa ult, going to be great for keeping them down, but going to have to see some early picks from Kean's DPS here.
Fong Yoon finding a nice barrage pick onto beams. Boop follows it up with a kill. The Terra Surge finds the comics as Kean falls everywhere, and CSI takes the second point and Lijiang.
Yeah, that's going to be Lijiang Tower in favor of CSI. Very good from Staten Island on that one.
Very.
Looking at that last fight, I mean, we saw the early pick from Chongyun, got shut down by the Kiriko, but the rest of the team, that was enough of a shutdown to let the rest of the team just execute the rest. See some nice picks here from Phobic as well.
Oh, yeah.
This
Like
was-
you were saying on that first point, Phobic was just hitting the right shots right when they needed them. And as you can see there, got to play the game for it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
But
I,
go ahead.
I want to say I definitely am surprised by how Kean did. Much better than that first round. Very back and forth. They got it to 99. They held a majority of that game, but CSI was able to just come back. They had the better ult economy, I want to say, which is what helped them win that. What were your thoughts?
I was gonna touch on that too. That the second point there, it was such a back and forth battle. We had the 99-99, and Staten Island was definitely fighting uphill for a little bit there. Once they got that point, though, it felt like they were a lot easier to push into Keen spawn a little bit and find some of those picks. You saw the barrage coming down early, finding one of the supports. The Terra Surge coming out, finding the May, and I believe Bioactive kept securing a few picks on the Juno. I believe I wasn't sure if it was the missiles, the homing missiles, or the just auto, but huge picks coming down.
Yeah, definitely. As well as like the May pick was very good at isolating the tank, doing what they needed to. Did I correct me if I'm wrong? Did I just see a sub for
We
Ripser?
did have a sub, but it looks like they're going back to Rip, sir. I'm not sure, but we might be getting into a King's Row for the hybrid map, which I just loves King's Row.
All right. Yeah, King's Row, very fun, very very interesting map with how it can be played. You can play very dive, you can play very passive as well, very flanky. I think one of my favorite plays was by the Gladiators where they have the whole team run all the way back to the other spawn while keeping a Widow in their attacker spawn and
And
getting
let's
two
sure
picks.
for pick heads. Yep.
Yeah, that's very very
Too
fun.
good.
Um,
We
and
even
looks like
have the players all saying hi to the stream. Hello, players.
yeah, hello, bioactive phobic. Saying
I
hi
hope
to their mom.
I hope they have like a speaker in the room that they're playing in with my sound just booming. Hello, players. We're getting into this next mat.
Yeah, will be hybrid for this.
Mhm.
Couple more jokes from the players. What is the team comps you're expecting from these guys?
Now they did have that Orisa mirror on Lijiang there, so I feel like these tanks are kind of in sync here, and I think we're gonna see another mirror, and I think the mirror is gonna be a Reinhardt mirror, or at least that's what I'm hoping.
I would love that.
I
I would love to
love the
see
Reinhardt.
Ryan.
Yes,
Yes.
the Reinhardt battles are always amazing to watch. I always love seeing them.
Yeah, as a Rhine main myself, I mean, so many different tanks, but nothing beats a Rhine 1v1.
Nothing beats the hammer in
It's
hand.
it's as simple
It's
as
just
who
too
can
good.
block the shatter. That's just what it comes down to. And nothing feels more satisfying. So that would be great. I don't think we're going to see that. I think we'll see probably more aggressive teams. So maybe
Mhm.
the Orisa again, maybe a a Winston could be interesting on dive, maybe a Diva. Um, as well as for damage, fairly sniper oriented map, which could be good. I mean,
Indeed.
we saw Phobic really well on the cast. Would be even better to see him on the Widowmaker. Uh,
Widowmaker getting some early picks, absolutely.
I think a May could be expected as well.
As for the supports, I know, like I was touching on, Bioactive was definitely doing very well on the Juno, and it would not surprise me if we see another Juno from them. Could
Yeah,
see
Juno's a very
some,
strong support right now, being able to
yeah,
pump out so
absolutely.
much healing. Um, what else? I know we did see a Brig as well, very good in these close range brawl
Hmm.
maps when a team can play together very well. Uh, it works well. Not
Does well
sure.
with Reinhardt.
Yeah, definitely. Not sure what we're waiting on. I believe one player said their DoorDash is on their way, so I don't know
Awesome.
if we
There
want to
we go.
call that a technical difficulty,
Had
but
to
maybe a
maybe a
stomach
slight technical
difficulty.
difference. Yeah, maybe. I
um,
know it was touched on by the captain of Staten Island, CSI, that their player, I believe it was Phobic, does have a lot in DoorDash savings.
yeah.
So, and it would not surprise me if, 'cause I don't know if it was them who, I don't want to single them out, but it could have been their DoorDash. You know,
Yeah, looking at the image, we're looking at Phobic here. He has $2,000 in DoorDash savings, so they know how to get a deal.
yeesh. There you go.
Um,
Big DoorDash.
yeah, I'd
Hey,
like to
tummy's
see
grumbling
them.
while you're playing some Overwatch.
Hey,
Gotta get a little DoorDash.
they're playing delivery here. You know, you got to deliver the payload,
Yeah,
deliver DoorDash, fairly similar, right?
really DoorDash. When you think about it, Kings Row is just one big DoorDash order, you know?
All of Overwatch is really.
When you think of it, that's what it really comes back to. Full circle, I guess.
Definitely.
Gonna have Kean destroying the spawn of Kings Row, supposedly for good luck. I believe it gives you good luck. You gotta mangle the spawn rooms. You can't let them be intact.
Of course
Like
not.
the bike on Junktown.
Oh yeah, on Junkertown, if you don't break that bike, you're losing the round.
You gotta
That's
break
just
the
how it
bike.
goes.
You gotta break the bike.
Yeah, looking at the picks.
We do see the Orisa mirror though.
Yeah, the Orisa mirror, the Ash, to be expected. Very long range, very good. Double May, also to be expected. Double Juno as well. See Baptiste on defense, Kiriko on attack as well. Allows you to play aggressive and defensively.
As that Suzu too. Able to get a nice cleanse off. Gotta see the Orisa's fighting down with a lot of CSI on the high ground.
Yeah, I want to comment on
Try to stay
CSI's
away.
position here. They're very spread out, but I'm gonna see if they can do what they need to. Good wall on the tank.
Great
Got the
wall
pick
from
on Azu,
Chong Yin.
though.
Gotta be pushing back. Kean now. Not finding quite any picks just yet. With the Mei wall coming down now, Cammy in trouble. Getting healed up from Bioactive and Rip SR. Kean kept alive by Beans and Boop. Now going to be trying to push forward onto this point. As, like I said, CSI just up higher, not able to just get contested right away with the Mei. Going to be pushed back a bit now. Not really sure if they can get on the point. Now contesting as Cammy defiantly pushes back even further. The Orbital Ray coming down from Kean now, as well as Bioactive's VAP window, the Amplification Matrix, bringing the fight back the way of CSI now, getting the huge damage amplification onto Cammy as the final picks come through.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the teams, it's really all on Azu for these picks because where they're playing so long ranged, I mean, you're not going to get too much from Mei. You got to hit those icicles, but it's really all up to Azu to get them off of this high ground, and it's really just left up to the tanks to just brawl on point so you can get more deals.
The Kitsune Rush answered with the Terra Surge and the Blizzard. Now going to be trying to push off the point as Kean has a Blizzard of their own, but is choosing not to use it just yet. Uses the Terra Surge. Still no kills just yet. With the Blizzard and the Terra Surge now, Kean finding all the kills. Leaves Bioactive and Phobic alive, trying to run for their lives. The Mei wall comes down as the Comics and Oz kills the rest of CSI.
We're going to see Kean get pushed back. The great stagger on the supports, but I think they are going to get the close spawn. And so hopefully we can see them hold this, but there's a chance Kean's able to get an early pick while they're down to support.
And you know, we were touching on the Rhine 1v1. You know what? I like the Orisa 1v1. Seeing them throwing their javelins at each other and such, and spinning, you know, I think it's a fun 1v1 to watch.
Yeah, I definitely don't mind it, and I think one thing that really spices up the tank 1v1s are the Mays. The May walls, just really seeing who can get the better wall on the tank.
Gotta know your positioning well, as CSI finds just a few picks onto Kean and shuts down their push.
Yeah, we're gonna see CSI able to retake that, and again on the May thing is with the tanks 1v1ing, Mays are kind of 1v1ing, but not exactly against each other. It's more so just who can do the role better.
Yeah, who can disrupt the enemy team better. There's a few ults for Kean now, as the Terror Surge from Cammy comes out early. Not going to use any just yet from Kean. Has both support ults and the Terror Surge. Waiting for the next group up.
The CSI are playing fairly aggressive here. They're going to have the Kitsune Rush as well as the Orbital Ray at the start of this fight. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, we see Phobic just trying to get a lot of the damage down in the back lines. They push up with the Kitsune Rush and the Terra Surge. Find good picks from V-Comics and Oz to kill a bunch of CSI and push that payload further now.
Yeah, I mean, being able to use the Kitsune Rush with the speed to just get that Orisa Javelin down, it's really strong being able to just get that space really fast, get in their backline with that. Not much they can do.
We see Kean actually pushing up pretty far here. Payload's still pushing. Getting closer to that checkpoint, as CSI is not contesting just yet. Might be trying to hold back a little bit. Rip SR with the Orbital Ray now coming down. Beams follows up with a counter Orbital Ray. Blizzard from V-Comics. Kean looking like they have an upper hand. Cammy with the Terra Surge. Finding a few crucial picks. Now as CSI backs Kean off the point. Gonna find, just see if they can stagger a few on the way out. Not really able to. It looks like they're just gonna stay up here as Chong Yun finds a pick on the boot.
Yeah, that was very good from CSI being able to retake that there. Very, very aggressive
great
game
ult
here.
usage.
Back and forth. Yeah, they have great economy with that as well. They're gonna have the Bob as well as the window up here.
Bioactive, yeah, that amplification matrix just helps them push them back even further. Time now under a minute.
Yeah, definitely. They're looking really good here. Both DPS ults as well as the Orbital Ray on its way, but looking at Kean, they're going to be rocking with 4, almost 5 this next fight.
Yeah, gonna see a nice ult dump this next fight. Terra Surge from Kean coming out earlier.
Also going to see
finding
Russ.
a huge pick onto the Juno. The Kitsune Rush from Kean now stops the Bob and pushes up on the point.
I want to comment that
Paywall
Razzlito
from-
was able to actually eat Chung Yun's Blizzard there at the start of that with the Javelin spin, which was a huge change in the fight for them.
A great play. As now Kean can push up even further.
Yeah, we're gonna
I didn't
see-
catch that Blizzard, but that is huge from
Yeah.
Razzlito to
And-
eat that ult.
It's really unfortunate too to see Cammy commit that Javelin spin surge at the very end there, the Terror Surge, because I mean, game's not over. They might get the contest here. No, it doesn't look like it.
Now
but,
looking to just give it up and regroup stronger for the next fight.
yeah, now you're down that ult, but looking at ults here in favor of Kean. Probably going to keep the momentum up with both DPS ults as well as the Orbital Ray.
Now we also see Oz on that like medium ground in the back, able to just shoot downrange with the Blizzard and the Orbital Ray from Kean as well. Killing a lot of the members of CSI as they also committed their Orbital Ray. And Kean is pushing them even further back as the payload is still moving.
I mean, it looks like that Orbital Ray, all it's going to do is just stagger their own tank, keep them up while the rest of the team is down. And now they're going to have to take this disadvantage, but Razzlito does get taken a little down here. But Razzlito is going to have the Terra Surge. It's going to be very good for taking them off of point.
Yeah, we see CSI on almost the back foot here. Rip SR finds a great pick onto Oz. Rosalito finding no one with the Terra Surge, unfortunately. And CSI actually fights perfectly right into it and takes back the base.
Yeah, Ripster got a very nice pick onto Azu there during the overclock, which was a very good ultimate showdown, and that left Cammy that left Razalito alone on point and teleported from there.
Early Blizzard from CSI, as well as Bioactive on the amplification matrix, with Phobic and Rip SR on the high ground, keep them from even getting close.
Yeah, I mean, that Blizzard's going to force them to go to the side route, especially where they have the BAP window with 3 people up there just spraying down on them. It's like D-Day trying
Yeah,
to push into that. It's just not going to
it's
happen.
not going to happen.
But I mean, they were able to. They're forced to rush into that right side, and that's just too long of a distance, and you're not going to make it. So we're not going to be able to see Kean get the 3rd point, but we'll see if they are able to make a great hold.
And I did like there, like, as we were touching on, at the end there, it felt like they were almost, a CSI was staggered a little bit. And in one swoop, they just quickly grouped up and started finding the picks they needed and immediately pushed Kean back, even with the ults or anything that Kean was throwing at them.
Yeah, I mean, they have great team coordination. I mean, you saw, I believe Cammy got staggered just a little bit, died out in the front, and then you saw the supports and damage. They come out the right side, and they don't just dive on a point. They know it's going to take the payload just a little bit longer to get to the end, and they know taking the fight then will kill them. So they wait, they let their tank get back, and then from there, we saw that Kean committed ultimates and got them lost, had the team very disconnected, and that just allowed CSI to capitalize and come back.
Absolutely. We're going to see Cammy with Reinhardt. Phobic was on the Widow, but instead going with the Ashe instead. Now we're going to be just CSI pushing. Not quite. It looks like they're grouping up, going to favor going around this statue a little bit.
Pharah pick too is going to be really good against this Mei and Reaper. You're not going to get too contested against with that, so definitely
not too heavily. Sleeping now, Rosalito on point as the Comics finds great picks onto the support of CSI. Great picks.
Yeah, very, very surprising. And great shots from the Comics.
Yeah, just perfect shots, able to completely disrupt CSI's push and send them right back to the spawn room. They're able to see the switch coming from Cammy now onto the Orisa.
Yeah, I was excited to see the Rhine, but it looks like it's not going to last. Good pick on the Razalito, too. I'm not sure how they got that so early.
Yeah, a super early pick onto the tank of Kean. Chongyun finds a pick onto the support as CSI is now going to claim the point.
Yeah, I mean, without your tank, you don't have too many options. You have to get back there. You see a quick change into an Echo as well to try and contest that Pharah, but hopefully in these closer range hallways on the 2nd point, it'll be a little harder for Chongyun.
Yeah, we might see a rocket barrage and swap from Chongyun. Has the ult, might try to use it first before losing it. Finding a pick onto Boop in the top room after Oz found a pick on Phobic. They're gonna start pushing this payload now. Chongyun quickly with the barrage gets 2 kills onto Kean. The Terror Surge from Rosalito comes down. Oz finds a pick, and it is unfortunately just not enough.
I'm really not liking Rosalito's Terror Surges here. They're always used when they're down 2 to 3 players, just an last-ditch effort to save some time, and I just don't like it because now they're, I mean, he dies immediately after. They're going to go into this next fight. Cammy's going to have theirs, and that just puts the ult advantage in favor of CSI.
Heavily, and we're going to see them taking the space now, knowing that they have that Terror Surge, ready to use it whenever they need. And be pushing up a bit. Not deciding to use it now. A few ults come down from both teams. Blizzard from the Comics, unable to keep CSI from killing everyone on Kean and finishing the checkpoint.
It was a great job from CSI with only the orbital ray, especially into a Blizzard Terra Surge. Very, very good hold. We're going to see if they're able to keep that up the second time. We're going to see the comic switch to the cast, hopefully to put more pressure on Chongyun.
Yeah, Chongyun did stay on that Pharah.
We're looking at third point here with almost 5 minutes. The early pick of the last point as well.
Yeah, Bo5 finding a huge pick onto Oz. The Amplification Matrix comes out with the Terra Surge from CSI, finding even more picks onto Kean, and is just able to keep that payload rolling. Not a whole lot of contest from the past couple of fights from Kean.
Yeah, I mean, they were able, right there, they're able to just dump 3 ults into that fight, give them the full advantage. And you see the Kean answer to 2 supports, but it just didn't work.
The Echo from Kean decides to ult onto the Orisa, getting another tank. Unfortunately, not being able to get the Terra Surge out while ulted. A few picks from Phobic and Bob keeps CSI pushing ever closer to that finishing checkpoint as Roslito and Oz Beans falls, and it looks like CSI take King's Row.
Yeah, that was a very good play from CSI on attack there. They had a decent defense, an even better attack there. Being able to cap with, I think, about 4 minutes on the timer. I'm really going to chalk it up to their picks as well as their ult economy. I mean, the Ashe, the Pharah into the Mei Reaper, the Echo. I mean, they're able to still keep the advantage because of just who they're going into, keeping the pressure up, great shots, and then they're able to cycle their ultimates. I mean, right there during play of the game, we see they did all that with just the Juno ult. So into a
Yeah,
Blizzard, very
they
impressive
don't
from
need
Staten
much to
Island.
get all the kills. And it's real devastating for Kean to get up there and then just get straight pushed back right away from CSI when they're dumping ults and stuff into them.
Yeah, I think
But
in order
good.
I think it is decently balanced. That last match, we did see a little bit more leaning in favor of Staten Island, but I mean, looking back to the first map, we can see Kean knows that they can come back. They just need to play together, get the picks they need, and learn how to play around CSI here.
Yeah, 100%. Like going back to that Lijiang game, I mean, you could see how well that they can play together and how close of a game this really is when everyone's playing on their A game. We're going to be going to the push map now. I believe it might be Esperanza.
We had Cammy here say that they tried to give the stream a little bit of Rhine, but they couldn't hold it. Orissa's just too good. So I appreciate it, Cammy. I definitely appreciate the effort. I'm a big Ryan fan. Um,
But the Orisa did. I mean, as soon as we saw that swap from Rhine to Orisa, I mean, it felt like Staten Island just kept pushing and wasn't able to be stopped then.
yeah, looks like we're
But we
going to
have
see
more
the.
jokes coming down.
Looks like we're going to see a sub as well. We're going to see Alicent in for Zephyr, or I assume they meant
Ripser.
Ripser, but they said they
Yeah, I
said
believe so.
Zephyr. So in for Ripser. I believe Ripser was a support. Um,
And like we were saying in the beginning, both teams very friendly, very casual, happy to just be here, and we couldn't appreciate that more. It's always better when the teams get along and everyone can have a good time.
I mean, you see this
And
here. They're having a blast. So that's what it's all about.
exactly. At the end of the day, we're all here to have fun, play some Overwatch, and winning games is just a bonus.
Yeah,
Having fun playing with friends is what it's really for.
for sure. And be coming here into Esperanza, the push map. Uh, Typically, we see a decent dive comp here. Usually a Tracer, Genji, sometimes a Cassidy. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if we get the same comps though as last game. I would not be surprised. I think we're going to see a Cassidy or an Ashe, a Pharah, an Echo on Kean. I think we're going to see the Orisa matchup, but with how Cammy was talking, I'm hoping to see something fun. Looks like they're
Something fun,
playing for the
yeah.
stream. I'm looking to see a wrecking ball here.
The wrecking ball.
something crazy.
One can only hope. I am curious with CSI. They did have a lot of that damage from Pharah on King's Row there, and I'm wondering. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're gonna favor it here. Like you were saying, with it's a lot more open, a lot more hit scan DPS are favored on this map, so they might not pick it.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to see the dive with the Winstons, the Tracer.
Yep.
Chong Yun is clearly aware of the dive, and the Monkey going to go for the early Reaper. Already looking at this, I think this first fight... Oh, switching it up actually. Genji Ash, but I will say that the Ana in the backline is going to have to play really well. Their team's going to have to peel really well, especially where they have the Echo Tracer. Being able to proactive is definitely going to be the target on Staten Island.
Yeah, it might not be too easy for this Ana to stay alive. We're going to see how the team plays around it, as both teams are taking this fight now away from the robot. Kean dives onto CSI first. Not going to be able to find a pick as Bioactive with the anti-grenade kills the comic Tracer. Chong Yun now finding a pick onto Oz, as Kean is just left with the tank and supports now, as the DPS are coming back.
I'm very impressed with Staten Island's positioning there. I mean, they know they have the Ana. It's not like a Kiriko or something where you can just dive in the backline and expect a healing. So they all know to group up, and they know the other team's playing dives, so they let them just come. They let the team come to them and make it work. Good sleep on Razlito.
Beautiful sleep.
With the purple.
Yep, with the purple, able to find Razlito. As now the rest of CSI pick up the kills on the team, with B-Comics falling last as the robot now pushes further.
Yeah, I mean, right there we saw Razlito dive, try and do good as you can on Monkey, but not going to help. That's where the Ana is good, though, especially against the Monkeys. Being able to sleep and anti, the tank is just dead to his rights at that point. Not much you can do.
Yeah, that purple grenade can be cleansed with a Suzu. Gonna see if Boop will save it for that specific reason. Cammy finding a nice pick onto Oz as Razlito finds one on the Bioactive. Allison and Cammy now finding the support of Kean as Razlito is using Primal Rage. Allison using the Brig ult as they're now just gonna push up a little bit further.
Yeah, using the rally there just to stay alive and push Razlito back was very impressive because Razlito knows that their supports fell. They know that they don't have healings, but they say, hey, I have this this Primal Rage, I can get the health, and they got the pressure up, but Allison responds and just forces them to back up with that, and that's very impressive.
Yeah, both Winstons now targeting the back lines of each other's teams. Cammy finding a pick, but Kean has 2 picks now onto CSI. Gonna be looking to turn this robot around and get some progression for themselves. The tank again, Bioactive, getting a nice purple nade right onto the Winston, and then sleep darting the ulting Echo is just beautiful work from Bioactive.
Yeah, very, very impressive. I mean, this fight is definitely pretty back and forth again. It's fairly leaning in favor of CSI, but with Kean swaps, I wouldn't be surprised if Kean keeps the momentum up.
And yeah, we saw Cammy in the back line doing what the Winstons do with the Primal Rage, getting another kill onto the support of Kean. Kean looking to see if they can do the same thing, finding a kill. No kills just yet coming through. Now having 1-for-1. Nanoblade comes out onto Chong Yun. The Primal Rage as an answer from Razlito.
Yeah, I mean, you get that nano, you just think to press Q, but with an ultimate monkey in front of you, you're not killing that.
Yeah, it's gonna be harder to kill him. Actually, Kean was able to stay. Razlito was able to stay alive with that, and now is pushing back for Kean as Boop falls to Cammy with the purple nade. Comic looking for some good damage as CSI is grouping up on the high ground again.
Yeah, I really like seeing the way that Allison and Bioactive are playing against each other here, playing with each other on the high ground. I mean, you don't need to get too active with Brig. You're just playing the bodyguard for the other support. And it's really interesting seeing the way that's playing out.
And they're doing it pretty well so far. I mean, it seems like these CSI supports are just landing perfect utility when they need it. Maybe I've cast a curse that has both supports now fall for CSI. Bob now on the point as Kean starts pushing back. Gonna see if they can find a few stagger picks here onto Chung Yoon.
Yeah, very good from them. One thing I do want to comment from this is it's interesting seeing just how fairly balanced this one is. I mean, we're seeing a lot of these fights, they're up constantly, but that's just what you get with dive, is you constantly have somebody diving somebody's backline.
Yeah, we saw Bioactive miss the sweep onto the Primal there, which results in a kill, and maybe two, if Allison dies to the Winston here. Will fall. Rosalito now falling critically low. Gonna see if Chung Yoon can get the kill. Unfortunately not, as Rosalito barely dies to the point from Cammy primaling. So unfortunate. We could see how low Rosalito was there for so long, unfortunately. Just not being able to get healed just right there. And then falling as he came out.
Yeah, I mean, being able to commit the ults there to stay alive and get the pick is very good. We're gonna see if they're able to keep the pressure
Rush from Kean coming down. Able now to find good picks onto CSI, but the robot is still pushing back CSI's way, now being contested. As Kean's now gonna swap it.
And we see Chung Yoon just kind of steal the bot there, trying to buy some time. And it's going to work. It's going to give CSI some time to stand back up. Juno pick off of the Ana will definitely allow them to play it more aggressively. We've seen it the past couple fights that Bioactive and Allison have just been getting dove and taking out of the fight real early, just leaning the fight in favor of Kean. We're going to see CSI with the more aggressive switches.
Yeah, Rosalito trying to find the Juno on CSI. Unable to just yet, as Boop, the support for Kean, finds the tank on CSI. Now Kean gonna push up just a bit more as CSI is down their tank for just a little bit more. Now back in the fight, getting closer to how far CSI's progress was, now taking the lead for Kean.
Yeah, that's very good. That's not something you can let happen in this for CSI's, especially in push. You have that long of a lead, you do not want them to take it back, but Kean's doing a great job of making the swaps and getting the picks. Seeing the comics
100%.
here do a great job too with these.
They're playing really well with each other now.
Yeah,
getting into the groove of it. Bob coming down from CSI. And the Primal Rage try to distract Bob a little bit. Chung Yoon finding a double pulse bomb kill as Phobic in the Ash finds another. Bot contested right now. Allison, as well as CSI, kills the rest of Kean and gets the bot pushing back.
Yeah, we saw Chung Yoon do really good on the back line there, recognizing that even though their backline is getting dove, you got to do the same thing, and that's just the way the comps work on this map. So it's always very interesting to watch how these teams behave, because it is always two different fights going on in either backline.
Yeah, we have the Echo going for another tank ult. Let's see if we can get a Primal Rage from the Echo out now. Oz harassing the backline of CSI. But CSI harassing the backline of Kean now, finding the picks onto the supports. Cammy does a great job now, staying alive as the bot pushes further.
I mean, again, it's just which team can be a bigger nuisance to the other team's supports. And I think that's kind of why it's in favor here of CSI, is just you're going to get a lot more help from the Juno, being able to play a lot more aggressively with the team, so having that more coordination is very helpful.
100%, and with a few ults there, we see a huge contest from Kean as CSI was pushing back. Now able to get the bot back to midpoint.
Yeah, I believe somebody did steal the bot. gonna be Roslito
And then, okay, there we go. Now the bot,
wrapping around.
CSI catches on to it and finds the bot coming back.
That's very good from Roslito though here, because I think they might fall, but I mean,
No,
hey,
able to be kept alive.
You push the bot that far, you're gonna have to. That's 30 seconds now before they even get back to the fight. It's gonna be overtime. So
It's going to be overtime, and this fight now is win or lose for CSI. Comics finding a huge pulse bomb again. 2 picks from the pulse bomb. Oz finding another kill. CSI reduced to 2 people. Now no one left on the bot means that is the push map going Kean's way.
That is incredible. And one thing I do want to comment on, that is Kean's first map win of the season, I believe.
Congratulations to them, and that was a damn good game too for
Yeah,
that
it
to be
was-
the first one. I mean,
That was a
jeez.
fantastic hold from them.
We're gonna see Roslito with the play of the game, doing a stellar job as the Winston. Once they addressed that back line needed to be kept down, you could see that every fight it was just falling, and it was perfect for them.
Yeah, I mean, when we did see the game slipping slightly in favor of CSI, it was when Bioactive switched to the Juno, being able to play a little more aggressive. But, I mean, I think they gave way too much space to Kean playing the Ana, allowing them to dive so many times, which gave them the space. And I think the swaps that Staten made just weren't early enough in order to get the advantage and get those ults up.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And like, Bioactive was doing a fantastic job on the Ana. You could see the constant sleeps and purples coming down, and I wonder what the call was when Bioactive realized that it maybe wasn't working as well, and decided to swap onto the Juno there at the end.
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic swaps, fantastic picks from Kean, which secures them their map.
Yeah, I think the big things too were the pulse bombs. We saw quite a few great pulse bombs from either side. That tracer in the back line doing what you have to. Getting rid of the brig, the supports early on, very, very important, because whoever wins that back line is going to win the fight. Because, I mean, the tank and the damage are against the others, but then once the fight in the back line's over and you combine back onto the main point, one team's going to have their supports and the other isn't. And that's just what's going to decide the fight. And Kean just did a very good job of recognizing that and getting the picks they needed and winning their back line much quicker and getting up into the front line to help their tank.
Yeah, and I'm curious if they're going to stick with maybe something similar for a New Junk City Flashpoint map, or if they're going to swap up the comp and try to go something else again.
Yeah, I'm really not sure. I have little to no information about what kind of comps are supposed to be run on Flashpoint. This is the first week out of our 5th week here that we've seen the game go into a not a 3-0, I guess, a 4th map, yeah.
Yeah, and hey, I'm happy for it. All the better. I love when the teams fight back with each other. It becomes an uphill battle. It's more engrossing to watch.
I mean,
So much
again,
better.
Kean here are the underdogs. They definitely at the disadvantage, both rank-wise and just win-loss-wise. So it is great being able to see just how well they are playing, recognize the picks, playing together. They're just doing an all-around good job from both teams as well. Junker Queen
100%.
matchup.
And yeah, we have the Junker Queen matchup. The mirror, I'm happy to see that matchup. See what goes on with that. With Phobic on the Cassidy and Chongyun on the Genji. And then we have Oz on the Venture and Comics on Genji.
Yeah, we're gonna see slight
Like that.
alterations as well in the supports, which is cool. The Juno Lucio very fast brawl type team versus the more Brig Juno typical team of just keeping the tank up. So I'm interested.
Yeah, we're
to
gonna see how that
this will go.
favors them here with the Lucio pick instead of something more direct, like a maybe a Brig or something that Kean is favoring. But it looks like they are just getting very aggressive right now. Already way into Kean's backline is the tank for CSI, as they now find good picks. Not even worried about the point yet. They want to get all their picks first.
I mean,
And now they will start capping the point.
If there's one thing Juno Lucio is meant to do, it's just to run at the enemy. So I'm not surprised it turned out that way. The Cassidy is also going to do really well against this team. Especially the Magnate onto the Venture, shutting down all of their abilities.
All of their abilities, unable to play them. Gonna see if we see that swap coming through. Right now we have the supports for Kean trying to keep everyone alive as they're pushing into this. Roslito finding a great pick on the Rip SR. Bioactive now, and Chongyun returning the favor with the Rampage from Gammy coming down to finish off the rest of the team.
Yeah, that was really good. We saw Rip SR get picked early, but it still allowed the rest of the CSI here to play aggressive, and I think they just had the damage advantage against this. Gonna have the Blade as well before the comics. Interesting to see as well. We're likely gonna see the Briggle.
Yeah, the Blade now coming down from Chongyun, finding a great kill on the Brig. Obik finding Venture and Genji. Roslito just finding one as a consolation prize as the Flashpoint caps for CSI.
Yeah, that's going to be point 1 for CSI. Going to be running over here, just taking the space, but looking at the ultimate economy, it's going to be kind of in favor of Kean here. They have a lot of ults up, but I mean that that Lucio sound is going to be good for the Junker Queen ult.
Yep, the Rally and the Deadeye coming out early from each team. Now an ult fest as huge picks come through. It looked like Roslito hit a huge rampage onto CSI now as picks falling in comics with the Dragon Blade. Now finishing off the rest of CSI.
Yeah, great picks there from the comics with the Blade. Saw a lot of ults out from CSI. Not able to hold it though. So looking at ults here, it is going to be the Coalescence from Beans and the Rampage from Gammy.
Yeah, we do have a Sojourn swap from Venture now, realizing them a free counter. Gonna be getting a lot more damage down with that Sojourn sitting there. Pumping in a lot from Comic, finding a nice pick onto the Genji as CSI follows up with 2 picks onto Kean. Now a brawl on point as CSI pushes back Kean, looking for just the remaining picks. Bioactive falling low, but not dying. As CSI captures the point.
It's very good from CSI being able to take that. Their ults were able to be used in just the way they needed to stay alive, while also keeping the ones that they needed for the next fight. Don't have too many here though, but we're gonna see the Rampage out. Big hit.
Early Rampage from Roslito with the sound barrier from Rip SR to keep everyone alive on the back end of it. Phobic now finding a kill with the help of the team. 2 kills for Phobic now. Cammy falls 2 beams. No tank for CSI now. Will Kean try to push up on this point? Phobic with the Deadeye, getting speed boosted by the Lucio, and is able to find the kill onto Roslito and Boop. As CSI now is looking to take the lead and get closer to that 99%.
Yeah, I think a major part of Kean's play here is the fact that Roslito has that Rampage, and that's going to be a really good ult, but Rip SR is able to answer every single time now with that beat, which is just a huge counter and shuts down everything with that ult, and really shifts the tide in the fight in favor of Kean.
Yeah, 100%, and you've seen it, I think, 2 or 3 times now when, like you said, every time that Rampage comes down, that sound barrier is out. And it is just hard to fight into that then. Gonna see if Kean hasn't answered to Cammy's rampage that they're about to build. It's about to be full. As
Very
it's
close
a
range
lot
here.
of Kean, yeah, in a close quarters. The orbital ray comes out from Bioactive and CSI with the Dragon Blade from Chong Yun to find 3 picks onto Kean and secure the point.
Yeah, I mean, that blade with the orbital ray, it's like a mini nano. You know, you're able to just get out there and do plenty of damage. I see a Winston pick. Very interesting. Likely, I'm expecting to see maybe just a lot more group damage dealt on the supports and everything, but I'm kind of expected
Yeah,
to see Braslito get shredded by the team here. They do really good close damage, so we're gonna see if he can heal.
Huge rampage from Cammy onto the back line. Now going to be fighting on point. Kean's going to be fighting on point now. Unable to find too many picks. Oz gets a good one onto Phobic. Cammy finds a few onto Kean. As Kean is now sent back to the spawn for one more group, it's looking like.
I want to say the difference in this is really the support utility. Being able to play so aggressive and answer with the beat, as well as just the damage and healing you can get out with the Juno, it just doesn't compare to the Moira, because every time you use that Moira ult, it's going to be answered by...
The boot from the Lucio onto Kean secures the map for CSI and finishes the game 3-1 for CSI.
Yeah, that's going to be Staten Island. The match closed very quick there, but I was honestly expecting a contest there. That's kind of why I was going off, but that was very, very good from both teams. We saw Staten Island, CSI play very good that last map, get the picks they needed, and like I said, I think it was just the support utility being able to play much more aggressively, and Kean was left to make plenty of swaps, puts them at the ult disadvantage, and overall, that just goes to Staten Island.
Yeah, with that comp that they had, like you were saying with the Lucio Juno, if it's one thing they're meant to do with that comp, it's to just get in the enemy's faces and do a lot of damage. And Junker Queen plays so well into that. And it looked like they were just that they had Kean on the back foot a lot of that map, just with the sheer aggression that they were throwing at them. And it just turned out in CSI's favor at the end.
Yep. Well, great job to both teams. They both performed very well. I want to thank you guys for watching and thank our hosts here. I've been Althea, caster, Inferno as well, and our
Thank you.
observer Beldia. Again, congratulations to Staten Island. Great win. Good job from both teams. Great hold, Kean. And thank you guys for watching.